It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Mogaitora go dumedisa gape re amogelesega mo lena go nna ga go le itumedisang Expresso on SABC3. Of course, we're live on this Tuesday morning. And earlier in the show, we chatted about South Africa's most stressful jobs, and it appeared that pilots have the most stressful jobs. But why do our bodies actually respond to stressful situations in the way that they do? Is it, still necessary for our bodies to respond this way, or are we just stuck in this redundant, out-of-date human function that seems to have stuck with us for hundreds or perhaps even thousands of years? Now, we're back with our resident Dr. Darren Green, and if you suffer with stress, do give us a call on 083-9133-728. Ask your questions. Maybe even you can suggest some ways in which you deal with stress at work, and that could help somebody else out there. Dr. Green, how are you, sir?
Fantastic, thank you.
Absolutely great to have you here back again. So when we talk about stress, there's usually this thing of fight or flight.
Yes,
phrase of
yes.
fight or flight. Exactly what is that, and how does it work in our bodies?
So the human body is created to ensure survival of the species. From way back caveman time to modern times, our bodies are created to help you survive, firstly. So that means you need to be able to recognize threats that threaten your survival, and the different things. What threatens your survival is a lack of food, a lack of oxygen, obviously physical danger, violence, all those kind of things. So you can imagine that you are designed to recognize those things in the periphery. So you pick up signs, visual cues as to when you're under threat, and then your body has to respond to that to give you your best chance of survival.
Yes.
So a lion walks in, for example, your pupils dilate, etc.
And then...
So you can see the lion better, allows more light into the eye, that you can identify an exit route, and that you can plan your strategy to find its weakness and attack it, for example. Other than that, obviously, your heart starts pounding so that you can get oxygen and blood everywhere, oxygen to the brain to think of an exit plan, to escape. And then you can even become white. The same as in Afrikaans, jy skrik jou wit. Because the blood vessels to the skin constrict. All the blood's directed to the vital organs, like the brain, the heart, and the kidneys, so that you can actually absorb from the gut the food that's left to give your muscles energy to run away or to fight. So it's actually an incredible reaction of that fight or flight response, the sympathetic nerve system that kicks in when you feel like you're under threat or something's threatening your survival.
That is fascinating stuff indeed. Now, all the things you've just described relate to external stimuli. Can the stress originate from something internally, your own thoughts perhaps?
For sure. So just the thought of something that makes you nervous or anxious, like the thought, if you close your eyes and think, if you're anxious of speaking to a hall of 10,000 people, not you, of course.
I'm okay with that.
But you understand, for some people, that could be quite daunting.
Yeah.
You see then their response, the sympathetic response. Their pulse rate starts going up as they think of something that makes them anxious or nervous, etc. And then you'll find you start sweating, sweaty palms, etc. And all that's related to the sympathetic nervous response.
Yeah. When we take it back to the caveman, way back in the day, and the kind of stresses they were experiencing, how did they deal with that? Was it just something that, a fight or flight situation, you dealt with it, ran away, escaped, and then you just kind of forget about it? How did they deal with it?
Yeah, if you think about how you created then, I mean, the anxiety there was to find food, for example, and stay alive, living in dangerous conditions, amongst wild animals, etc. You can imagine when you lay your head to sleep at night, you'd often go away hunting for food for days on end with your family left behind. And if you think about that, surviving in the wild itself brings a lot of stresses to it. Being attacked at night time, etc. How they survived simply was obviously to learn strategies. So based on their experiences, they then strategized where would be where good lookout points, how would they sleep in order to not disrupt, obviously, other dangerous areas in the forest or wherever. And obviously, the response to that of running fast, becoming tactical in your approach to hunting, all that kind of thing for food, grew. And that's where the more modern brain, in terms of our advanced frontal lobes, have become quite important.
Yeah. We're going to talk about stress in the modern world right now, but from what we've been discussing right now, I'm actually wondering whether stress is even a bad thing, because in some instances it could help you survive.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll carry on with our chat with Dr. Darren Green very shortly. Our lines will remain open, 083-9133-728. Do give us a call.